Hey, welcome back to the Joe Scarborough Show. Joe and Mika with you. Now let's bring in America's Mayor, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, thanks for being with us.
Nice to be with you, Joe.
Okay, if you will, peel away the layers of what's happened over the past couple of weeks. How are we doing when it comes to fighting terror in America?
You know, it's hard to know. I mean, the president, I think for his first year in office, de-emphasized terrorism to our peril and his.
In what way? Because that's the
ways.
middle of the debate right now. How did he de-emphasize it?
I think the mere fact that for the first time he used the words war on terror yesterday, 1 year into office, after at least one domestic attack, which had not happened under Bush, and then almost a second catastrophic attack, shows us that he de-emphasized terrorism. He went out of his way to do that.
Why are Democrats genetically dispossessed the way they are to not use the words war on terror? Why do they find that so offensive?
I remember when I was running for president, there would be Republican debates and Democratic debates. I'd say it struck me as very strange that during the Democratic debates, they would never use the word Islamic terrorism.
Why?
I have no idea why. You have to ask them. Political correctness, I think. And to a very large extent, the signals that have been sent from this administration is to de-emphasize terrorism. So when you have a situation of not connecting the dots, there are a lot of reasons for it, but one reason that contributes to it is the president has not emphasized terrorism. He has now changed that. He said we're going to have a war on terror. Now, some things should follow from that. If we're really at war, and he really means it and it isn't empty rhetoric, then we shouldn't be treating people that we arrest who are terrorists as domestic criminals. They should be treated as enemy combatants.
Okay, Democrats will say the Bush administration did that.
Well, the Bush administration didn't do everything right. And Democrats are the first to say that. What they should be doing is following what the Bush administration did right and not what the Bush administration did wrong. The Bush administration released people from Guantanamo. 1 out of 5 is back engaging us again.
Now,
that was a mistake.
We're talking to Rudy Giuliani. What in the hell? How does it serve us to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in a New York court?
That's the second thing you should change. If this is really a war, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who would be a warrior, an enemy combatant, should not be tried in a New York civilian court as if he's a domestic criminal. He is not a domestic criminal. In the indictment that was filed against Abu Mutabalab, the word terrorism wasn't used as far as I can tell in that indictment. I got a chance to look at it very quickly last night. I can't find the word terror or terrorism in it.
Are Democrats putting political correctness in front of national security?
They have been. Let's hope they're changing it. Let's hope that these are wake-up calls for President Obama. Bill Clinton, I believe, saved his presidency by making a mid-course correction, to his credit. I haven't completely given up the idea that President Obama can do the same thing.
Let's talk about the intelligence community as well, because while the president hasn't been focusing on the war against terror as much as a lot of people would like him to do, he has been focusing a lot on the CIA, criticizing the CIA during his campaign, going to Langley, criticizing them for what they've been doing since 9/11. David Ignatius said it was like a truck bomb had been set off outside the Langley headquarters. How bad are things right now in the intelligence community because this president and Eric Holder and other Democrats have been savaging them over the past year?
Well, I think the president didn't understand because he came into office with probably the least amount of experience than any president in modern times. I don't think he understood the nature of intelligence. It gets gathered by people who take a risk to do it. The less risk they take, the less the quality of information that you get. So by savaging them, by letting them get put under investigation,
which by their base loves. The people on the far left love when Barack Obama goes to the CIA and says basically, you did everything your commander-in-chief told you to do and the vice president told you to do and the Justice Department told you to do and Congress told you to do, Democrats and Republicans alike. You kept America safe for the past 7 years, and what you did was immoral. It was wrong.
Part of what had to happen
We're ashamed of you.
Part of what has to happen with Barack Obama, that either will or won't happen, is he has to go from being a left-wing ideologue as a candidate to being the commander-in-chief and realizing he's hurting himself. If he is getting CIA agents more reluctant to gather information, being too careful, the quality of information that he gets is going to be less.
Well, you know what? I've got a lot of friends in the intel community, and they're quitting. They're quitting and lawyering up.
They are the equivalent of what goes on in defensive medicine when you think about it, where doctors take extra tests, don't do things, are really careful because they're worried about being sued. They are worried literally about being sued, about being arrested, about being investigated. They then don't take the risks that the president needs them to take to get the quality of information that you need about what's going on in Yemen, for example. And they're not as aggressive in connecting the dots because they may make a mistake.
By the way, this is what everybody in the intel community is telling me, and they say over the past year the young people that have come in are learning all the wrong lessons. Don't take a chance, or else you're going to end up in jail.
Yes, they have the illness that a bureaucracy creates very often, and the president has to cut through that. The president has to say, this is a priority. I'm willing to support you. If you make a mistake, but it's made in good faith, I'm with you. I will support you. I had this problem with the New York City Police Department when I became the mayor. Crime was out of control. We were the crime capital of America. The police department was afraid to take action. I used to go speak to the classes and say to them, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. After all, criminals get the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If you screw up, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt unless it's proven that you did something wrong. Until then, I will be backing you.
No, and the difference is just
and in the intelligence
revolutionary.
It's
revolutionary what you did in New York.
You need law enforcement agents and you need intelligence agents to take risks to protect us. If they don't feel that somebody is protecting their back, they don't take those risks. Consequently, the quality of your information declines and declines and declines. I was taught this by a great Deputy Attorney General, Harold Tyler, who was my boss in the 1970s, who told me about the Church Committee that he thought that someday a president would not have the quality of information that he needed as a result of their work.
Hey, tell us, Mayor Giuliani, why don't you want to be Senator Giuliani? You could walk into Gillibrand's seat. Why aren't you running?
Well, that makes it a little simpler than it actually would be. Really, because I'm very happy right now with what I'm doing. I don't want to take time out and run. I've got a law firm, Bracewell Giuliani. It's grown dramatically over the period of time that I've been there. It's growing right now. I've got a security firm. I'm doing security for the Olympics in Brazil, World Cup in Brazil, other parts of the world. I'm in the middle of that right now. This would have been a terrible time to break away.
Would you consider running for president?
I would consider running again. I have no idea what I consider running for. But once I get through getting my business reorganized in the right way.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Great
Joe.
talking to you.
Great
Joe
talking
and
to
Mika
you.
will be right back.